Hi there, everyone. This is JD, and today we're going to be going over 2CN from IXL. All right, we're going to start with this one over here. Solve using elimination. So, elimination means combining our two equations together to get rid of something, and then using what we have left to find our answer to go back and solve our original one. So, we have to figure out what do we want to eliminate here? Well, I see something right off the bat with these guys here. These guys are the same. It seems like it's going to be pretty easy to turn those into a 0. So, I'm going to switch the signs of the top one, which I can do because I'm doing it to both sides. And then I'm going to add them together. So, -4 plus 4, well, that's 0. That's 0x. Negative 10y plus 9y, well, that's going to be minus 1y. And negative 19 plus 18, well, that's going to equal -1. So switching the signs around again, I get what y is equal to 1, because we can ignore this 0x here, because it's a 0. So if y is equal to 1, what is x going to be? Well, let's plug that into our equation. So I'm going to use this bottom one here. I got 4x minus 10 times 1 is 10 equals 18. And I'm going to move this 10 over, so I'm adding 10 to both sides. So add 10, add 10. I get that 4x equals 28. So 28, so 28 divided by 4 is going to give me 7. So I get that x is equal to 7. So our answer is 7, 1. Let's do the same thing for this one here. We have 6x plus 7y equals 8, and 8x minus 2y equals -12. And this one's a little bit annoying because, well, we don't have any easy things to get rid of. So we're going to have to do what we got to do. I'm looking at this 7 and this 2. I think those are going to be easier to handle than this 6 and this 8, personally. We could totally do the 6 and the 8, but I'm going to do the 7 and the 2. So I want these two to either be opposites of each other, positive, negative, or the same. So I'm going to times both sides of this top's equation by 2. So if I time both sides of that by 2, I get 12x plus 14y equals 16. And let's do the same thing for the bottom one here, but instead we're going to multiply this one by 7. So we can get both of our y's equal to a version of 14. So 8 times 7 is going to give me 56. So we've got 56x minus 14y. Twelve times 7, well, that's 49 plus 14, which is going to give me 60. 63, I believe. Let's verify that real quick. 7 times 12. Oh, 84. My apologies. You guys probably knew that before I did, but it's been a while since I looked at my times tables. So, we now have two equations that have something in common. So, let's add these equations together. We get 56. Sorry, this should be a negative 84 because there's a negative there. So we have 56 plus 12. That's going to give me 68x. And now let's add these together. So I'm going to turn this into a different, I'm going to flip these around. So I got 84 minus 16. And I'll just need to remember to flip around the sign of my answer when we get to the bottom. So 4 becomes a 14. This 8 becomes a 7. 14 minus 6 is 8. 7 minus 1 is 6. And I add a negative here because these were actually like that. So 68x equals negative 68. Hey, would you look at that? We can divide both sides by 68 and get that x equals negative 1. So let's plug that into this equation over here. We have 6x. Ooh, sorry. Ooh, got the sneezes and the cough. So we'll get negative 6. We're just going to plug it into one of the equations up here. So we got negative 6 plus, let's see here, 7y. So plus 7y equals 8. We will add 6 to both sides and get that 7y is equal to 8 plus 6, which is 14. If we do add both sides by 7, we get that y equals 2. So the trick is to make one of the things the same so that we can put it into the other. Let's look at this guy over here. This is our last one. We could try to make 6 and 5 the same, but frankly that just sounds like a pain, and I'd rather times 1 by 10. So I'm going to times this top one by 10. This time we don't even have to multiply the bottom one by anything. So I'm going to do this, so I get 60x plus 10y equals 200. And now we can add these together because we have these, they're both have a 10y. So we make sure one of them has an opposite sign, which it does. So let's do this. Add these two together. So I get 55x, and I can just ignore the y's because those are going to turn into a 0, is equal to 20 plus 200, 220. I'm pretty sure this is a multiplication by 4. Let's verify that. Whoop. 55 times 4, 220. I was right. So x equals 4. So let's plug that into one of our equations up here. I'm going to do it in the top one because I like the fact that y is on its own. So if x is equal to 4, that gives me 6 times 4 is 24. So I'll subtract 24 from both sides. And we'll get that y equals -4. So we get x as 4 and y as -4. So through these problems, you should be able to get the gist of how elimination works. If the numbers are the same, you can make sure one of them's opposite to the other, and then add them together, and then plug that back in. If they don't look nice, you can take them and multiply the 2 by 7 and the 7 by 2, or whatever your example is, to be able to get numbers that match, and then flip one around and keep on going. If you see a variable on its own, that's a pretty good sign that that one's going to be good to multiply, because having one of something is just very easy. Because you can multiply it, and you don't really have to, you can just multiply the other thing by 1. So I'm going to leave you guys to it. I believe in you guys, and good luck.